What is a multipotentialite? It is a person who displays aptitude across a multitude of disciplines. This is the definition that Emily Wapnick presents for this type of person. Barbara Sher, if you come across her book, Refuse to Choose, this is a really good book. I found it really helpful. Um, she describes the multipotentialite with the term scanner, and her definition goes like this. Scanners love to read and write, to fix and invent things, to design projects and businesses, to cook and sing, and to create the perfect dinner party. You'll notice I didn't use the word or because scanners don't love to do one thing or the other. They love them all. A scanner might be fascinated with learning how to do something new one day, but once they get good at it, they may never do it again. That kind of describes me to a T. Um, I've seen some other videos with people talking about multipotentialite and scanners, and what I've noticed is a lot of people kind of mince over it. Um, they talk about being a jack of all trades and a master of none. And yeah, that's kind of a risk with being a scanner or a multipotentialite because it's really hard to be focused on what you want to learn and do in the world that we live in because you're expected to conform to a standard to fit yourself into a box. You have to work. You have to earn a living. You have to pay bills. And in order to do that, you have to set yourself up in a career. That's the expectation that we have in the West. Um, it hasn't always been this way. If you go back 100 years ago, look at most farmers. Small-scale farmers would have been multi-skilled in all kinds of different things. Your average housewife 100 years ago would have been able to cook, clean, sew, run a garden, manage the bills and accounts for the family household, teach her children. Um, it's only in the last 100 years that we've been stuck into this little box that we're expected to fit in and to just do one thing. We go to work, we do our job. I don't know about you, but I'm bored to tears a lot of the time. And then we come home and we sit and watch TV. We watch the same shows. We go to work and we talk to each other about the same shows. Well, I know everybody else does, I don't. It's just really hard to kind of be a multi-potentialite or a scanner in the world that we live in the Western environment these days. And I think that does kind of create a problem for a scanner and multi-potentialite because how do you thrive or develop your interests or your skills in all these different multitudes of areas and all these facets of living that don't always converge? People look at you as if you're odd. Um, they they want you to kind of settle on one thing. I know I have colleagues and friends. I tell them about my latest interest, and they kind of look at me, oh, what's this now? You're going to do this? Like last week it was something else, and this week it's this. Like why do you want to learn all these different things? There's like a negative thinking once you become an adult that continuing learning is something that you do if you lose your job and you have to get a new career. If you get injured and you can't do what you were doing before, you get laid off, particularly in the area that I live in now that's heavy factory work. A lot of people have been getting laid off and they have to go back and retrain for new careers. That's kind of the only time people really take into account the opportunity or the need for learning something new, and then it's something they have to do. It's not something they want to do. Something that you'll notice over time with this particular channel, I'm hoping to use it as a means of documenting primarily for myself my learning as I go through the vast quantity of things that interest me. I'm really hoping to get out of this jack of all trades and master of none issue and really put my learning and my interests to something more concrete and to really take them and create something for myself that I can use to grow, something that I can refer back to, because I know for myself as a multi-potentialite that when I learn a new skill, I'm cyclical. I'll get interested in certain things, a whole bunch of things all at the same time. I'll learn a bit about this, a little bit about that, and I'll gain a skill, and then I'll see a squirrel. And I'll go off on a different tangent, and I'll come back round and I'll want to pick up where I left off on that skill, but I've forgotten what I learned and I have to go back and relearn it. I learn it quickly, but it would be a lot quicker if I had a means of simply recording what I've learned. And so that's primarily what I'm hoping to do with the videos on this channel. But at the same time, I do feel it's really important to share your learning and your experience um, with others, because I'm not the only multipotentialite out there. I'm not the only scanner out there, and I have a funny feeling that other people are in the same boat as me and would probably benefit from sharing what we learn, not just the skills themselves, but the actual process of learning and remembering. And something that I think is really important that Barbara sure didn't really touch on it, and I didn't really feel that Emily Watnick touched on it much either, but the process of synergy, the process of taking information that we get as multipotentialites and knowledge and skills from different areas and bringing them together and creating something new. I think that's something that's really overlooked in our modern world. There's very few people who do that, and it's something that's missing, and I think it's something that's important. It takes us out of these little compartments that we get fit into, and it can help broaden the world that we live in, and it can help broaden people too. So that's what I really hope to share with this channel. If you like, subscribe, see what different kind of things I come up with and do. There'll be things like cooking. I've already posted a cookie recipe that was primarily for me because I lost the recipe about 5 years ago, and I found it when I was digging through the cupboards at my mother's house, and I didn't want to lose it. And I figured if it's on the web, it'll be there for, well, until they decide to censor it. Yeah, so they'll be cooking. I'm planning on fulfilling my life dream eventually of having a homestead up in northern Ontario. So that's one of the things that I'll probably be covering a lot on my channel, the different skills and knowledge that I'll be finding as I consider different types of building processes. I've been looking at straw bale building, timber framing, trying to design a house in my head, what I would like to have. Different types of energy and sewage systems, because I really don't want to spend 20 grand on a septic system. So we've been looking at composting toilet. So that might be something that turns up on here. Growing my own fruits and vegetables, trees, herbology, alternative medicine, different ways of thinking and belief systems, law. I'm really into that at the moment, economics, accounting. I've been learning Excel lately. Fiber arts, I'd really like to know how to do all kinds of things with different fibers, how to make plant-based fibers, and how to take care of animals such as sheep and rabbits and llamas, alpacas, things like that. I'd really like to have animals on my homestead that aren't there for meat because I'm vegetarian, but that are there for love and cuddles, but also for providing a source of material for fiber crafts. Those are just a few of the things that I'll probably, hit upon on this channel, and we'll see where it goes. But my brain is always going off on different tangents on a pretty daily basis, so there'll be all kinds of things. So thanks for stopping by. Comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, and